In Washington, a high-stakes legal battle is about to unfold, one that could redefine the limits of presidential power over international trade. President Donald Trump has announced that he will not attend the upcoming Supreme Court hearing on his controversial tariffs, scheduled for November 5th. Just days before the hearing, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that he didn't want to overshadow what he called one of the most important and consequential decisions ever made by the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will hear arguments on whether Trump exceeded his authority when he imposed sweeping tariffs on imports from countries around the world, a move that has shaped global trade and America's economic strategy over the past several years. Trump's tariffs, according to his administration, are projected to generate nearly $4 trillion for the federal government over the next decade. Officials claim the tariffs have pushed foreign countries into renegotiating trade deals and encouraged U.S. companies to bring manufacturing jobs back home. But critics, and now several lower courts, argue that Trump overstepped his constitutional authority. At the center of the legal dispute is a 1977 law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. Historically, this act has been used to impose economic sanctions against hostile foreign powers or national security threats, not to regulate general trade or collect revenue. Lower courts have ruled that Trump's use of the law went far beyond its intended scope, effectively allowing the president to act as both lawmaker and enforcer in matters of trade. Supporters of Trump's policy argue that his tariffs revitalized U.S. industry, reduced dependence on China, and rebalanced decades of unfair trade practices. Critics counter that the tariffs increased consumer prices, disrupted supply chains, and strained relationships with key allies. Economists remain divided. Was this bold economic nationalism or a dangerous precedent of unchecked executive power? The legal challenges began soon after the tariffs were first imposed in 2018. By 2020, several industries and trade associations had sued the federal government, arguing that the president's emergency powers were never meant for such broad, long-term economic measures. Now, in 2025, the case has reached the nation's highest court, and its ruling could reshape how future presidents wield executive authority. For Trump, the case carries both legal and political weight. He had earlier hinted that he might attend the hearing himself, potentially becoming the first sitting president in U.S. history to appear before the Supreme Court during oral arguments. But on November the 2nd, he reversed course, saying his presence might deflect from the importance of the decision. In his post, Trump called the case one of the most important decisions ever made by the Supreme Court, underscoring how central tariffs have been to his economic agenda and political identity. As the justices prepare to hear arguments on November 5th, the nation and the world are watching closely. A ruling in Trump's favor could reaffirm strong presidential control over trade and cement his tariff policies for years to come. A ruling against him could severely limit executive power and roll back one of the most aggressive trade strategies in modern American history. Whichever way the court decides, the outcome will ripple far beyond Washington, shaping the future of U.S. trade, global economics, and presidential authority for decades to come.